this is the solution to WEX 010. Okay, so the point on the tangent line, so this will be T0 is 4, and then W0 is Q evaluated at T0, which means that we just want to plug in 4 into there. So this will be 2 multiplied by 4 squared minus 30, cube all that, then add 9. So that's a job for a calculator. Two times 4 squared minus 30, cube all that, add 9. That's 17. So the point that we're talking about is 417. For the slope, to calculate the slope, the idea, of course, is that the slope of the tangent line is given by the derivative of the function. The new element in this exercise is that in order to calculate this derivative, at least calculate it efficiently, you'll need to use the chain rule. So the derivative of q, this will be the derivative with respect to t of 2 multiplied by t squared minus 30, all of that cubed, and then add 9. So the 9 will, the derivative is additive, so it distributes across that sum. The derivative of 9 is 0, so it is in that sense not interesting. The pattern here is that we're doing the derivative with respect to t of something that looks like u cubed. Therefore, the derivative will be 3 u squared because of the power rule, and then for the chain rule we'll need to multiply by du dt. So that du dt is the action of the chain rule. So this will be 3 multiplied by 2 times t squared minus 30, cube that. No, not cubed. Square that. And then multiplied by the derivative with respect to t of 2 times t squared minus 30. So that's the derivative of u with respect to t, and then plus 0 because that's the derivative of 9. So continuing this up here, so the derivative of q will be 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by t squared minus 30, square that, multiplied by the derivative of all that is 4 times t. Okay, then we're interested in the slope. The slope will be derivative of q evaluated at t0. So we need to plug 4 into all of that. Alright, that looks like a job for a calculator. 3 times, in parentheses, 2 times 4 squared minus 30, in parentheses, square that, times 4 times 4. So that's 192. Double check that. So 3 times 2 times 4 squared minus 30, in parentheses, square that, times 4 times 4. 192. Good. Therefore, the equation of the tangent line will be w minus w0 is equal to m multiplied by t minus t0. And to remind you, the pattern is always inputs over here with the slope. So the input gets modified by the slope to produce the output. So this will be w minus w0 is 17 is equal to 192 multiplied by t minus the initial input 4. So w minus 17 is 192 t minus 192 times 4 is 768. So w is 192 t, and then negative 768 plus 17 is negative 751. So that's the equation of the tangent line. Okay, so let f be that. Find all the values of a such that the tangent line has slope negative 4 at x is negative 2. Alright. So here's the idea, is that the slope of the tangent line at x is negative 2 is the derivative evaluated at negative 2, and therefore the request is that we want to solve the derivative of f evaluated at negative 2 equivalent to negative 4 for the variable a. And there's a hint. It says that you'll know that to get credit and to know you're on the right track. So let's compute the derivative. The new element of this exercise is that, of course, to compute the derivative, we'll need to use the chain rule. So the derivative with respect to x of a multiplied by x plus 3 all squared and then add 8. Of course, the derivative is additive, so it distributes across to the 8, and the derivative of 8 is 0, so that's not interesting. So we can, to that extent, ignore it. This other thing, though, does depend on x, so we're doing something that looks like the derivative with respect to x of something that looks like v squared. So this will be 2 multiplied by v for the power rule. The exponent comes down, and then the new exponent is 1. And then for the chain rule, dv dx. Okay. So then this will be 2 multiplied by a multiplied by x plus 3, and then multiplied by the derivative with respect to x of a multiplied by x plus 3, and then plus 0. That plus 0 is the derivative of 8. Then we've got to look up here where it says a, the symbol a is constant with respect to x. So that means that when we differentiate this, we can treat a like a constant, as if it were something like 5x, and the derivative of 5x would just be 5, and in the same kind of way, the derivative of ax is just a. So this will be 2 multiplied by a multiplied by x plus 3, and then multiplied by a. So that's the derivative of f at any x at all. Then we're specifically interested in the derivative evaluated at -2. So at x is -2, that gives us the slope. So the derivative evaluated at -2 would be 2 multiplied by, so notably it's at x is -2, the a is still an a, so that would be -2a, and then plus 3, and then multiplied by a. So now I'm going to multiply that out and collect like terms. So that would be, well, I'll multiply the a in. So this is 2 multiplied by -2 a squared, and then plus 3a. And then the derivative of f evaluated at -2. Now I can distribute the 2 in, so that would be -4 a squared, -4a squared, and then plus 6a. Okay, so then that's the equation of that's the slope of the tangent line at x is -2. And what we want to know is what values of a will yield a slope of -4. So now we want to solve -4 a squared plus 6a is -4. Alright, so I'll move all the terms to the right side so that the equation becomes 0 is equal to 4 a squared minus 6a minus 4. Now I see that all of those things are divisible by 2, so that I can say 0 is 2a squared minus 3a minus 2. And what we want to do is we want to factor this. Or really we don't even want to factor it, we just want to solve it. So I'm not so great at factoring, so I'll use the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula says that the a's, the solutions, should be -3, and then plus or minus the square root of -3 squared minus 4 times 2 times -2. And then all of this divided by 2 times 2. So simplifying that, that would be 3 plus or minus the square root of, well, what goes in the radical. So that's, those negatives will cancel. So that's 4 times 4 is 16. And then plus 9, that's 25. So 25 in the radical. And then over 4. Therefore, there's two possibilities. One, well, and of course, the square root of 25 is 5, so this is 3 plus or minus 5 over 4. So there's two possibilities that A is 3 minus 5 over 4, or A is 3 plus 5 over 4. So 3 minus 5 is negative 2 over 4 would be negative a half. Uh, 3 plus 5 is 8 over 4 is 2. So those are the two possibilities. Either A is negative a half or A is 2.